Hello YouTube, iFixItAll here, Team iFixItAll. I don't know if you've ever heard of something called a clamper or not, but here's the first clamper I ever made. And I'm just going to show you, you could design anything you want that's similar to it. I think this was a piece off of a vehicle that tied into a transmission shifter linkage of some sort. And here I've got a carriage bolt, so to speak. Hey, Bookie, I'm not talking to you. My cat just walked up to me. Hi. Clamper is a tool you can look up where it's a quick and easy way to put on hose clamps by using wire. I've got my bolt here drilled out with 2 holes. And you can see that. I'll link my earlier clamper video using this. And I also did another clamper video where I made it much more low profile by doing this. Let me go back to the old clamper. So you need something that has a significant distance on it from these 2 holes out to an end that is shaped like so. And that shape right there is kind of calibrated, so you may have to fiddle around with it a little bit. And then with this version, which is lower profile, it's just an extension that I've modified with 2 holes drilled in it, for which this part here was just a piece of metal tubing. Real thick wall though. And it is designed to be right there, but it's also grooved out right there. So I'm going to carry you out to the garden and let's go fix a garden hose with, I'm going to try to do it with just plain old wire instead of a coat hanger. Could use a coat hanger, but I believe this wire will be good enough for what I'm doing. So let's go mess around. Hang tight. After, of course, you make your own clamper, all you should need to go out in the field to do any work is just a pair of pliers that also have a way to cut wire. We're right here where I made a repair quickly, just a fast little zip tie job. But I'm going to use my side cutters to cut these zip ties off. So this tool is made for when you need to splice a hose together. This is a barb fitting here. And what I'm going to do is trim some of this off where the indents are, so I have a fresh new thinner, skinnier section of the hose instead of what's swelled up. All right, shove that on there. I'm going to begin setting up my wire. Let me get these distractions out of the way. I'm in one of my aisles on my raised garden bed. So what you want to do is just bend this wire in half. Try to find half, just as best you can. I'm going to use these pliers here to kind of square off the end because that becomes kind of important. Give it a couple of 90s right there. All right. Wrap it. I'm believing this is becoming a problem here. Get a decent little shape going on here. All right. Okay, so I'm going to form this wire around and bring one wire up through one side. Press the other wire up to the other side. Until I have something that looks like that. Straighten out. I know you're going to say, why don't you put a hose clamp on it? What's the fun in that when you can make everything as difficult as possible? Yeah, there's an old tool called the clamper. All right, so next up is, I've got 2 holes here. I think I can tilt you up a little bit more. Got 2 holes in my extension. I'm going to feed one wire through one hole and the other wire through the other hole. There we go. And that little groove that I cut out in the head down here has got my wire trapped. And if I rotate my ratchet and keep pressure on it, then all I got to do is, I've got it cinched down now. All I got to do is do this. It'll bend over. And a side cut here. Side cut here. My tool is released. And I can trim the wee bits off. And then I can take my pliers and finish them over to where there's no snags. There we go. And now you can tell we've got a really nice clamp right there. You can see the depression it's making in the rubber. And that's a clamper. That's my version to get it more low profile instead of the big bulky one that you saw on my workbench earlier. Alrighty guys, have a good day. See ya.